Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Slow Customs. And in today's episode, it's gonna be a big one. The angle that the camera's at now is strictly because I don't have the space to get a good, angle where it's a still camera. So, anyway, here is my biggest, tallest, and longest custom to date. This is my Owen. He is absolutely massive. And like I said, he is 2 wooden to scale. That means you can put trucks on his lift there and lift them up. So yeah, I am so proud of how this guy turned out. He has also made me blow up on Twitter. So appreciate him. So let's get started. Now, I'll start with the slate lift part, as I knew that was going to be the hardest to do. So, the main body for him started off at the back here, actually. It started off with a hollow shell, basically, with the outlines of the structure going around, just like that. It's given stability from popsicle sticks glued together. That way it doesn't that way it didn't wobble around when I was building on it. So that's how that came about. The next part I did was the track. What I did was I spaced out the tipper wagons that I use for my narrow gauge track, or my narrow gauge engines, and I used popsicle sticks to keep them in line, basically. I've seen a few other people do this, so I figured it would work for mine. So there's 4 tracks, just like there is in the show. The next part I did was the slope. Now, this part is what basically took me forever. This part literally took me an entire day to figure out, and that was the lift part, especially with the slope. So originally, when I had made the slope, it went down at a sharper angle, just like this. That way I could have something at the bottom and have like a flat surface. Well, even though I was looking at the geometry of the lifts and how it worked, my dumb ass made it flat on the bottom, had a flat thing going up and there. So it was like a literal square with a triangle cutout on the side of the slope. And my ass spent, I kid you not, almost 5 hours trying to figure out how to get that little flat section up this steep grade. I thought it was because it was too steep at first, but then once I posted on Twitter for asking for help, I realized I was dumb because I had made the lifts how I did. So once that opened it up for me, however, it really just made everything so much easier. Because once I had figured that out, I obviously had to redo the entire lift system. So instead of having what I originally had, I don't remember what it was, on the inside I use 3 dowel things that I had glued together. And then back there on that wall, there is a Lego brick with a Lego turntable on it. That way it's able to spin the entire lift without giving too much friction. Once I had that, I was able to come through the wall on the side here and then just kind of leave that for now, because I worked on Owen's main body here last. Well, yeah, technically last. So that is how it stood with just the housing unit and the slope from then. So, yeah. The lifts are honestly pretty good looking. They're not as accurate, especially with the front sloping inward on this side, but honestly, I don't think it matters too much. It still looks pretty good in terms of like accuracy, you could say. They do run on the rail system that I had. So it goes into the top there and lines up with those. And then this one also lines up with those. So I'll just kind of show that here. So that also lines up to carry trucks and whatnot. I'll show them with trucks here in a moment. Once I get through Owen's main body, I'll show that. So the lifts are just cardboard wrapped in plastic with popsicle sticks for the rails and all that. So the string, I believe I've used the string before. I can't remember where. No, actually I haven't. Anyway, they go up, and to get this opposite motion that these guys have going up and down, what I did was, for this first one, I wrapped it underneath. That way it pulls it up if I go a certain direction. Then for this one, to get the opposite, I wrapped it over top. That way, when I pulled it, they would go in opposite ways. So, yeah. It's not too hard to figure out, but you can get confused. Sorry about that cut there. I ended up accidentally dropping my phone as my pop socket fell off. So, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I think I was talking about the lift. So, yeah, they look pretty good. I didn't really try to hide the wheels. That way it kind of still looked like a wooden toy. Like, I like the aspect that you can actually still see the wheels, but obviously you know that it's a lift. So yeah, the lift rails are the same thing as the top there, with the popsicle sticks, just painted gray. Gives it that rail look. So yeah, with that, I guess we can start on this section. So if I bring this lift down, excuse me, you can see that it does line up with the base section here. Now, I didn't really plan ahead too much for this section. You can, from the base here, you can put trucks onto it. You just have to go over the little ledge. And the ledge is strictly there because I couldn't figure out a good system to keep it level that they wouldn't fall forward and off. So the ledge is mainly there just to keep it on. I mean, I don't plan to use this too much as like a plaything, just maybe for show. So you won't really see them going on and off of the lift too much, but they can get on and off at the top here. So if I put this one here, I know I was going to talk about the base, but might as well talk about this now. With it lining up, it is able to go on and off, so that's fun. I also do think I did make this part up here a little bit too short, but it looks okay. So anyway, so the base down here, it's just two, like Christmas craft things that I had, or that was just sitting in a shelf, not being used. So I figured I might as well take them and use them. So it gives it a nice square look, which is great. It's not too detailed. There isn't the little ramp that goes down here, just because, I mean, I didn't feel like adding it. And honestly, I kind of like the simplistic look of it. So the track on top is not glued down, as I still need it. But yeah, it has a specific spot to go into. So yeah, here's kind of like the front of it, just painted gray. The back side, I can't really show it too good. The back side is not painted, just mainly because you're not gonna see it ever. Like, I don't plan ever for you guys to see it, so no point. The top is the same gray. This is honestly probably the simplest part about this, so yeah. Anyway, so now on to Owen himself. Well, I mean, technically you can count this as himself. I don't know how this works. Now on to Owen's main body, you could say. I I don't know where to start on him, to be honest. I guess we can start here from the lift. So that is just 2 big Lego gears put together. So if I go, or if I pull them, if I twist his little knob here this way, it'll bring the first lift up and the second down. And then if I rotate it opposite way, the gears will do their thing and go the opposite way. So it kind of worked out. Anyway, so that gear is glued onto that dowel there, and then it translates to that gear, which goes through the body onto this Lego Technic piece. So this is actually pretty long, and it goes straight through the body to the gears and all that. So push that back on. The main body for Owen, I'm gonna count the main body as the boiler part. So his boiler is made out of a Pringles can. It was the only real one that I had that was like perfect for scale. So all I did was I cut it down to size and glued it on. Well, I didn't glue it on to this yet. I glued everything else onto it. But if you do see on the back side, it does cut off a little bit. And I do believe on this side, yeah, you can still see some of the original printing of the boxes I used. But honestly, you're not going to see that side too much, so it doesn't really matter too much. So, yeah. The top is a Pringle can lid, obviously, and then the kind of slope thing at the top, that is just a funnel. You can see the original color. It was a yellow funnel that my mom had that I didn't really steal it from her, but it's the only one she had, so whoops. Anyway, I cut it down to size to fit on the Pringles can, or lid, and then I painted it black, obviously. So, I also do think the orange I used was, like, really good. It's a little dark, off camera at least, but it's still really passable. I think that's the same orange I used for Isle of Soda, to be honest. I don't remember. Anyway, so his whistle on the top, that is a wooden railway tender dowel thing. I don't know. It's what they use to hold the tender to the chassis. That's just glued on. It's not the best in terms of, like, accuracy, but honestly, I like it. So now onto his, like, main housing thing, the control center, I guess you could say. That is just built, oh, excuse me. That is just built directly off of the Pringles can. This is actually one piece of cardboard that I curved at the corner on that side and then curved again. That was mainly to save time, but it also gives it a nice, like, clean finish without the, like, need for tape or whatever to cover the gaps. So it turned out really nice. Before I get to that, anyway. The platform here, that's just a popsicle stick, painted gray with paper clips as the railing. It's not the most accurate for the railing, but it does its job, and I don't think it looks too bad. Now, there aren't many good images of, like, Owen's side, at least where his control panel stuff is, so I decided just to put a door there. I mean, he'd need one. I kind of scaled it to the same scale as the ladder here, which is a popsicle stick with toothpicks on the side as railings, so yeah, I don't know. Then, on, like, some of the images I saw, there's, like, this pipe thing on the side of him. I think it's just, like, an exhaust tube, maybe, but I mean, that's kind of what the top is. I don't know. It's there, so that's just a straw glued on to the Pringles can, so, yeah. The face is a paper face, just because I didn't know if there were any, like, pre-made faces, like 3D faces that were a good size. And originally, I did want to scale the face down and put it towards the gears on this one. That way there was a spot here where I could put, like, a window. That way his, like, driver could realistically see, like, the lift and all that. So I decided against it though, just to be a little more accurate, because if I'm going with the paper face, I might as well go to the same size as the paper face. So, yeah. The nameplate is also just a piece of paper, so yeah, it's actually the original one from the show, so that's fun. His roof is honestly the first time I've done it with the curved bit at the back there, and the roof just kind of goes around it. So I think that turned out pretty good for our first time. So yeah. His base, or his like support beams, I guess, are pretty simple. Those are just painted gray. I really didn't want to add like an internal structure thing. I thought about it, like it'd be kind of cool if I had the mechanism inside of him and built the supports out of like toothpicks, but like I said, I kind of want this to kind of fit into the wooden scales, and I highly doubt that it would have been 3D in the official release of him, so I didn't do that. So yeah. I think that's his main body done, to be honest. Well, I guess there's the base here. The base is pretty much the same as that, only I only did one half of it, so the entire backside of him is open. But it's just like a few pieces of cardboard put together and like stacked on the sides here too. There is masking tape that goes around it. I used a lot of masking tape for this. That way it gets kind of like a clean, smooth, like finished look to it. So yeah, anyway, here's the entire backside again. So he's entirely hollow, all the way down. So that's pretty nice. I guess I should show a little bit of the playability for him. So you can load 2 tipper wagons on, like you do in the show. It doesn't line up perfectly with the track, like you can see there, but it lines up just enough, so that way I can kind of shift his entire body here and there, but yeah. Anyway, so with those on, you can turn the knob and bring them up. It does scrape against the cardboard a little bit, but it's actually not too bad. So then these also just kind of stop right at the top, and then you can roll them on and roll them off. Now I've only tested the weight limit with tipper wagons, because I don't plan to have engines go on here a lot, but I'm fairly certain that if you place Thomas in the middle of it, you can recreate the scene where he goes up Owen, but I'm not 100% sure. I did put Rusty on one of them, just because, why not? You see him with Owen a lot, so it did kind of tip a little bit more, but if you put a tipper wagon on the other side, it should be fine. So, yeah. There is a little bit of lip here, too. That's kind of unintentional, but it works as like a guard, so they're not able to roll right off. And, well, they are, but they're not able to roll off unintentionally, so you can also see that the guard also does stop it from rolling forward. So then you can just twist the knob and down it goes. They meet in the center and they fairly line up. So yeah, I am really proud with how this guy turned out. And I'm gonna brag a little bit here. I think I'm the first one to make a wooden scale version. So it was really a lot. This took me 3 straight days to do. That's the longest I've ever spent on any custom, so I am just really proud of how he turned out. And I hope you guys really like him. I know a lot of people on Twitter did, so yeah. With that, I think he's done, at least with his video part, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know I did explaining it. There will be quite a few more customs on the way. Not even a day after New Year's, I had made another custom, so anyway. Probably won't do the lift thing again, but I do plan to make the funicular railway soon. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that again. Anyway, I've kept you guys here too long, so hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Oh, what a beautiful sunset. Oh, Hello. What are you doing here?
Just enjoying the sunset.
Oh, well, it's a beautiful one. Ain't it, Miss Lady?
Please call me Britt. Lady is what my controller would call me. Those days have passed, and now I'm free to enjoy as many sunsets as I like. I fear this is the last. I would like to cherish it in its fullest. But alas, this one is just beautiful.